In this video, we'll be covering the following: posting output, setting up and posting components, and finally, the reporting of output and components within Nav. In the first part of this video, we will cover posting output and how this is set up. Output quantity is determined by the release production order within NAV. So to show you this, I'm just going to navigate to the release production order screen. Now I'm going to select this line here, ending in 15. And as you can see, the quantity is shown within the general fast tab, so in this case it's 10. So the quantity is determined when a release production order is created. This can be from a planning worksheet, it can also be created manually and from a sales order. If you want to learn more about that process, please watch the final video in this playlist. So I'm going to just select OK here. The next part of the setup for output can be found within the SFDC setup screen. So you can see that you can choose to post output during setup time. So in this example, I'm going to leave this ticked just so we can see the effect that has in the SFDC output screen. Now that I have SFDC loaded, I'm going to select Machine Center 130. So now I'm going to select the production order line, which is this one here, ending in 15, and next. And now I'm going to select my operator code, so I'm going to select myself. So as you can see, this production order has not yet been started, and it's still in its setup time type. So I'm going to select start. As you can see, I'm still in setup. I'm then going to input a quantity into the output quantity. So I'm just going to put 5. I'm then going to select output. And as you can see, even though I'm still in setup, I have been able to post output. So now I'm just going to select stop and setup complete. And now I'm going to select start again. And this time I'm just going to put 1 in the output quantity, and you can see that this time my time type is run and my status is running rather than setup. Going to select output, and now I have a remaining quantity of 4. So now that we've been able to post some output, we're now going to go back into Nav to have a look at the reporting that this has made. So in this example, we're going to look at the capacity ledger entries, but if you would like to learn more about reporting, please watch the last video in this playlist. So as you can see, I'm back in Nav and my role center, and now I'm just going to navigate to the capacity ledger entry screen. So firstly, I'm going to sort by posting date. So the capacity ledger entry screen focuses on the capacity taken to output an item. If you would like to learn more about setting up capacities on machine and work centres, please read our accompanying SFDC prerequisites guide. Within this screen, we can see the order type of production, the production number, the type, and then the number of the machine that we completed this operation on, the operation number, which is always going to relate back to the routing number, the item number, the machine description, which in this case is Linda Mitchell. So now we have some really important information. So firstly, we have quantity, and this will be based on your chosen capacity unit of measure, which in my case has been set up as minutes. So what we're seeing here is that it took me 3/4 of a minute to complete this action. So what we're seeing here is that it took me 3/4 of a minute to then output 1 of the items. If you do have direct costs and overhead costs set up as part of your machine center, this is where they'll pull through. So the quantity will calculate with the direct and overhead costs that you've set up within the machine center to provide you with these costs. So this was the cost involved in the machine center when producing this item. We are now going to cover the creation and use of components. Unlike other actions within SFDC, the Components button does not need to be activated within the SFDC setup screen. This is due to components always needing to be posted to show their consumption, and components always exist as part of a production BOM. So firstly, we're going to navigate to the production BOM page. And we're going to look at the production BOM for the bicycle. So here, within the Lines Fast tab, you can see all of the items that are classed as components of the finished item. If you wish to make changes to this screen, simply change the status from certified to under development and add a new item. So here, under type, I've selected item. You're also able to choose another production BOM if you wish. I'm going to select the frame, and in quantity per, I'm going to put 1. As you can see in my example, I've left the scrap percentage field blank, but this is how much of the item we expect to be wasted during the production of the item, and is therefore part of the normal process. Once you've made any changes you wish, you want to change the status back to certified, and OK. Now we're going to look at how components can be viewed within SFDC, and also the posting of them. So now that I'm back in SFDC, you can see that I still have the production order loaded that I did in the previous part of this video. So to view components, I'm just going to select the Components action from the navigation pane. And here you can see all of the components that make up this finished item. So that's how much we expect to post, the remaining quantity we have to post, and the quantity to post, which is editable. You can also see that on the final line we have the component that I've just created, which was the frame. Now we're going to look at how to post a component. So I'm just going to tick the bottom line. I'm going to leave the quantity to post as 10, but you could edit this if needed. And then I'm going to select the post action from the navigation pane. As you can see, I'm then redirected back to my output screen, and it's not immediately visible that I've made a posting of a component, but if I go back into the Components action, you can see that the remaining quantity for my frame has reduced to 0. In the last part of this video, we're going to go back to Nav and look at the postings and reporting that has just made. So as you can see, I'm back in Nav, and I'm also back in my role centre. So now I'm going to navigate to the Item Ledger Entry screen. Again, I'm going to sort by posting date. And here you can see that there's been a consumption. So we can see the document number, the item number, which relates to the component. If the location code is applicable, that will also show. The quantity, so we consumed all 10. The remaining quantity, which in this case is 0, and the cost that this incurred. If you would like to learn about adding notes and instructions into SFDC, please watch the next video.